It was a hot day, too hot for Perceval to feel like doing anything other than lying face down on the sofa in the staff room. Lying face down was one of the only ways to ensure that Perceval did not fall asleep. He couldn't fall asleep lying face down on account of his insomnia. It was sitting up that was the problem. For when Perceval sat up, his narcolepsy would kick in, and he would almost certainly fall asleep on the spot. Perceval's colleagues had become inured to finding Perceval either asleep or awake, depending on his conditions. In fact, many of them had also pointed out that they themselves could either be found awake or asleep, and that no other state existed. They did, however, have the good grace to keep the two separate, and chose the state of slumber strictly for home, and much preferred to be awake at work. Some, however, did wish they could sleep at work. Perceval didn't care either way. He could work when he had to, which wasn't often. Anyway, none of these things mattered, really, because Perceval was a sloth. India was nervous before starting her first day in a new job. She had had many jobs before, and it wasn't the job that was making her nervous. Rather, she woke that morning with a profound feeling of calm. She was so calm about the new job that she started to become nervous that she had lost the ability to be nervous. Suddenly confident in the fact that she could become nervous, she calmed down once more, only to wonder if the state of calm had been a passing phase, and so the nerves once more came back. An uncertain nervous state wasn't the only thing on India's nerves that day. As she waited in the staff room for her new boss and a tour of the facility, she noticed a guy lying in his pajamas. It was the middle of the workday. Running her hands through her blonde hair, she watched as he noticed her presence, sitting up with an embarrassed smile before promptly falling asleep, as if the sudden rush of blood to the head caused him to doze. It was then that she could see he was a sloth. Not her type. Anyway, that didn't matter really, because India was a leopard, most feminine, agile, and intelligent, and they had nothing to do with sloths. Perceval wasn't a sloth in the 7 deadly sins sense of the word. If Dante had meant to pick a demographic for Perceval, it would either have been gluttony or lust, never sloth. No, Perceval was quite literally a sloth, long in limb, and almost forever in a recumbent position, if only to stave off his narcolepsy. Perceval was seldom embarrassed by the boom-bust cycle of his consciousness, but the beautiful leopard made him uniquely uncomfortable in how he appeared to her. He needn't have been concerned, though, as she was generally not attracted to him, and told him as such at her earliest convenience.
I am generally not attracted to you, and I'm telling you as such at my earliest convenience.
Perceval replied that was good to know, and though outwardly impassive, the news hurt his inside.
It hurts my insides,
Perceval told his talking book. For Perceval, the narcoleptic insomniac sloth was most unique in the fact that he owned a talking book. It was a dog-eared copy of Moths and Butterflies, Constant Imprint, 1958, a first-edition book he had picked up from a second-hand bookshop in the 3rd Danish port city of his 4th tour in the Merchant Navy. He had bought it to try and cure his insomnia, but found talking to the talking book actually kept him awake much later at night than he otherwise would have liked. The talking book was well-traveled and knowledgeable about more than just moths and butterflies, but also geography, history, the sciences, 18th century Romanian composers, 19th century Ottoman urban planners, and 5th century Visigoth computer programmers. The talking book was also prone to occasional tall tales, but Perceval couldn't always tell when he would tell them. The talking book went by a name, too. His name was Mike.
When did she tell you this?
I am telling you this now, at the staff party, because I can see from your countenance over the last few days that you like me.
And how long had you known each other?
Mike asked Perceval.
But we have only known each other for a week. How can I be so obvious?
You give too much away,
Mike told Perceval as they drank a beer together on the balcony.
Maybe if you explained a bit about what happened between the meeting and the rejection. I'll need another beer, though. No, don't get up. You'll fall asleep.
Mike got up to get the beers as Perceval told him about his first interaction with India at work. Perceval explained how, even though he had been half asleep when she had walked into his life, that he had felt an immense physical attraction from the moment he realized that she was not a dream. As sloths go, Perceval was reasonably good with women. He told this to Mike, who largely agreed.
I largely agree,
Mike told him. Perceval thought this fact made the overpowering intoxication and subsequent paralysis he felt in her presence even more confusing. He told this to Mike, who completely agreed.
I completely agree,
Mike told him. Perceval explained how his mind had been instantly made up that he should kiss India at all costs and started concocting a plan to make it happen. They were left alone at the tail end of the staff party. It was still her first week. She played with her tail as he told a story which she politely listened to as it went on and on and on. Perceval was stuck in a deadly cycle. Trapped in his own head, he could hear that he was talking rubbish, but India was listening, and so he kept talking. It was then that Perceval used the clichés, lost in her eyes and captivated by her smile. Such clichés as those Mike had no time for.
I have no time for clichés such as those.
Really, though, for Perceval, it was her laugh that he liked the most. And even that first night he knew, in his insides, that he wanted to do more than just kiss her. It was with this realization that he suddenly became nervous around her.
You have suddenly become nervous around me,
India told Perceval. Before she told him that she was generally not attracted to him at her earliest convenience. And all the time they had spent over the past few days, and the jokes faded from glorious romance to the facade of utter foolishness as he realized that their attraction was anything other than mutual, and that he had made an idiot out of himself. He had to get the hell out of there.
So I got the hell out of there,
he told Mike. Mike knew, and told him as such, because Mike knew everything about Perceval. They spoke all the time. Perceval had told him all about India from the moment he had met her. He had even told Mike about the night he spent talking to India before he got the hell out of there.
It wasn't that I was not used to rejection. I mean, I've been rejected before. But I started to like her more quickly than other girls. And she isn't like other girls. There were even some things I didn't like about her, but I didn't care. Because I know that no one can be perfect, and she isn't perfect. But I think she might be the most complete person I've ever met. And I really wish I'd had a chance to try with her.
For the first time in their friendship, Mike had fallen asleep before Perceval. With Mike asleep, Perceval's mind drifted back to the night before he got the hell out of there, sitting alone with India on a bench.
You don't really give me a chance to speak. Yet you told me you liked me. So I am wondering if your attraction to me was only physical.
Perceval didn't know what to say, so he said the right thing. He told India the truth. The truth was that he was scared of her. He told her that when she spoke to him, she overpowered him with her intelligence, and she intimidated him with every sentence. He told her that she challenged him, and he didn't tell her that he kind of liked it. He told her all of this and felt like a stupid boy for starting to fall for a girl he could never get. And then he got the hell out of there. And then he got her. And then he told Mike about it. And then he lost her and had to go, and his insides hurt. Again. And he wondered if it had all been a dream. And Mike offered him some advice.
Of course I haven't felt like that. I'm a talking book. You just have to let her go, mate.
But Perceval couldn't. And he got the hell out of there. Again.
You deserve better, Perceval. You really do.